Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Outpost 138. Because we are 138. I am Stefan JD.
And I am Rob St. John.
And today we're going to be talking about Scream.
The original Scream.
Yeah, the one that came out in the 90s. And
Yes.
I mean, for me, this was like, even though we had Jason and we had Freddy and everything, this was the new quote-unquote slasher of our era and our childhood and upbringing, right, Rob?
Ghostface was the new kid on the block.
He sure was, and he's proven his worth. I will give him that much. And the thing here too is that nobody should be surprised I picked this because the new Scream came out, Scream 5, which I don't know why they just won't do numbers anymore.
Yeah,
They just got to name it. Yeah, they just got to name it after the thing, the original, and it's like, whatever. At least Ghostbusters was like adding afterlife and stuff, you know. This is an odd one in
You
the
could
way
say
that, yeah, because it's very much trying to make fun of the cliches of the slasher genre. It's poking fun at everything we know or have known up until that point. And where did you first see Scream, Rob?
Whenever it first came to home video, I'm pretty sure my sister and I rented it from the local store, VHS.
And you guys, did you watch it at night?
Oh yeah. You had to.
Okay. I knew about it. I was too young to go to the theater to see it, but at my friend's house, they had rented it as well. And I went over there in the middle of the day, and his dad was watching it, and I didn't even know what it was, and I just like was watching the TV as he was talking with his dad, and it was right on that part where Ghostface runs through the hall, like the camera's panning, and it just shows him running. He's inside the house. Pretty much gave me a heart attack. I didn't know what it was, but it was creepy. Now thinking about it, I shouldn't have been creeped out at all.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, because Ghostface is kind of a weenie.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
He's a little slapstick.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Jason or Freddy weren't, falling into those same traps here and there.
Especially Freddy, very, a lot of humor in his stuff, and Jason had done some stupid shit. We'll get to it, but Ghostface is not the best at what he does.
So people know, I think people would be more familiar with Scream of our generation than they would with maybe other slashers, just because it's, like I said, it's what came out as we were growing up, as we were growing older. And it was more readily available, I think, even too, because it was new.
Yeah, and it rebirthed, it gave new life to the slasher franchise.
Yep, and it made a lot of really terrible followers to come in its footsteps, like Valentine, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
What? There's like two other big ones I'm missing right now. Urban Legend.
I liked one of those.
Yeah, Urban Legend, and then there was like one other one I'm not recalling right now. The setup, of course, at the beginning of this movie is basically girl home alone, and she gets a phone call from a stranger, and he's got a very distinct voice, which is carried on through the whole series.
Yes, done by Roger Jackson, who is not an actor on the screen.
No.
He was just the voice.
Yeah, and doesn't he do like cartoon characters or something too?
Yeah,
like Wacko.
He may be a voice. Yeah, a voice actor.
I know he does something. I can't remember if it's Animaniacs or... Oh, no. It's Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. That's what it is. Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, Mojo Jojo. Yeah.
Yep. She gets the first of many that the series would bring. This girl played by God damn it, what's her name?
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. And she
Who was
funny
a
enough,
huge name at that time.
she was. And she was originally supposed to play Sydney Prescott, the main character, but then she decided, no, I just want to get killed at the beginning. That'd be cooler.
And it threw everybody for a loop.
Yep. Something you didn't see coming. But
No.
the game that they play on the phone, I actually didn't appreciate it at the time. I think I appreciate it more now. What about you?
I appreciate the questions, but he says, well, I think who's the killer in A Nightmare on Elm Street? And it's Freddy. It's Freddy,
Mhm.
it's Freddy, it's Freddy. He's like, correct. And then he says, who's the killer in Friday the 13th? She says, Jason. And he's like, wrong. It's his mom, Mrs. Voorhees. She's the killer. And I like that, but it doesn't come across like he just said Friday the 13th. Did he mean the series or did he mean the first movie? She should have asked him that.
That's true. It's very true. I couldn't remember that too when I was thinking about it. I was like, was he more specific or was he very open about that?
Yeah, he just strictly said, who's the killer in Friday the 13th?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, are you talking about the franchise? Are you talking about the original? Are you talking about Roy? What are you talking about?
Talking about, that'd be funny if he was like, no, it's Roy Burns.
It's Roy, stupid bitch.
Time to die.
Yeah. So because she failed the game, is that when her boyfriend gets gutted?
Yeah, the football jock.
Yes. The first kill of the franchise.
Yes. Well deserved. And I actually think even though it was cut by the MPAA, because they have this weird thing about organs or blood, like if it hits something, that part can't be seen. Like you could show as much blood as you want, but as soon as it hits something like a wall or the organs hit the ground, then that has to be cut. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a very specific thing. So they do show like his organs falling out for a split second, then they cut it right before it goes down to hit the ground.
Huh.
And this was done also by Freddy Krueger's creator, Wes Craven, who directed this, we should say. Rest in peace, who I also share a birthday with.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's I share a birthday with a guy who plays Art the Clown. Does that count?
I don't know.
Because Terrifier was pretty good.
Terrifier is pretty good. There's Wes Craven and me, and then also Kevin Smith shares a birthday with us, August 2nd. But yeah, this first kill of the movie and the whole setup and everything, and you would think, why doesn't she call 911? And that's the impetus as to why is because they say Ghostface says he'll cut her boyfriend if she does.
Yeah, and then it's like, we're out here in nowhere. They wouldn't get here in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, she dies.
Yeah, she's running, trying to get away, and like her parents are pulling into the driveway as Ghostface is killing her.
Yeah, and it very much appears like he stabbed her in the chest, so when she tries to talk, she can't like call out.
Yep, and then the parents see something's wrong. Dad goes out the front door. Oh no, her mom goes out the front door, and there she is hanging from the tree, gutted and stabbed.
Yeah, stabbed.
His Ghostface moves quickly.
Very much. I want to say that actually might be the most brutal kill of the whole movie too, which is weird.
Yeah, because it's very drawn out and of course at the time was wholly unexpected because it was Drew Barrymore and it was like 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, like, oh my God, Drew's dead? Anyone could die.
Yeah, she was a name then, like she brought money.
Mm-hmm.
And, Wes Craven's like, no, just kill her in like 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of Wes Craven, has a very unique way of hiring actors. He doesn't just specifically go for famous people. And this would even follow into the Nightmare on Elm Street series where we would see him just say like, you know what, you are right for this role, so that's why I'm hiring you. He had no inclination to hire famous people.
Which is great.
Yeah, which is very, like, that's one of his talents as a director is eyeing up and coming actors who could fit the roles that he is going to direct. That's
that he wanted.
rare.
He wanted these characters to come to life, and he found who he wanted to bring the characters to life.
Yeah, and a great job too. Yeah, so this whole setup, we finally meet Sidney Prescott, our main protagonist, played by Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Rob, do you like Nev Campbell as an actress?
She's whatever. I don't really know. Wasn't she in like Party of Five or something?
Something.
She's an actress. I mean, she's not bad. I don't know if I would stand in line to get her autograph at a convention, but
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, when she's on screen, I'm not like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I find it weird that she didn't go on to do bigger things after this, but I know that at some point she had said too that she kind of had like the Alice thing, like Friday the 13th, where people just wouldn't leave her alone. Like they would follow her everywhere and just try to get like her to talk about Scream and the new Scream. So she actually left the country because of that.
Holy shit. I mean, I don't blame her if it was that bad.
Yeah, I don't blame her either, but I'm going to guess that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I love, obviously we've talked about our hero worship of various horror icons, but I wouldn't just follow them around. That's weird.
It's super weird.
It's obsessive.
Yeah, like if Kane Hodder went to the bathroom and I had to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't follow him in there. I'd wait till he came out and then I would go in.
Yeah, right. Kane, let me listen to you take a shit.
Yeah. But yeah, she's the setup. The impetus is that her boyfriend Billy ends up becoming a suspect because he has a cell phone.
Yeah.
And Ghostface tries to attack her.
Yeah, Ghostface tries to attack her, but Billy scares him off because she's home alone. But then she kind of blocks Ghostface, but then Billy shows up, and so Ghostface hauls ass. But
yeah,
the cops think it's him because what the hell are you doing there?
Yeah, why do you have a cell phone with that we're not able to trace the phone call or whatever, right?
Yeah, and why are you just out here in the middle of the night
trying to get laid?
Yeah, right. It's like, what, were you not teenage boys at some time? Dewey, you asshole.
You know, when I think about that part too, like, did Billy purposely drop the cell phone? Because I think that's what happens, right? So is he doing that on purpose to X out himself as a suspect immediately?
I do know that our main police officer, Dewey, played by David Arquette, is incompetent and awful and has a pedophile mustache. I mean, he does.
Oh, man. I've had two separate people at one point tell me, you kind of remind me of Dewey. And I'm like, please, no. That's not. No, I don't.
and I don't like David Arquette, so that really doesn't help. Are you trying to like that character or sympathize with the character or anything?
What do you got against David Arquette?
Ready to rumble in the whole WCW debacle?
I will say putting the World Heavyweight Championship belt on him was pretty bad. Pretty bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, he went along with it, so fuck him.
Yeah, apparently the back so off subject. What a tangent.
Yeah, right.
But the thing that Eric Bischoff said on his podcast, 83 Weeks, is that David Arquette had reservations about it. He actually didn't want them to do that.
But he did it anyway.
Yeah, and he got paid pretty good. But I think he gave his money away to foundation or something. Anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah, but
next week we'll talk about Will Sasso in WCW.
And Diamond Dallas Page and the Stinger and the Hulkster brother.
It was love. That was a fun time. But we're off subject here.
We really are.
Yeah, so cops arrest Billy because they think, he's obviously suspect number one because he was there. They're at the police station. Dewey's sister, who is like the best friend of Nev Campbell, is going to take her home. And the whole time she's there, she's just riding Dewey's ass, basically.
Yeah, she's pretty much putting him down.
Yeah. And who's the actress that plays her?
The best friend?
Yeah. It's Marilyn
Rose
Manson's
McGowan.
old. Yeah. I know she dated Marilyn Manson or something.
Yeah, Rose McGowan. She plays Tatum.
Yeah, what a terrible name that is, too, by the way.
Tatum Riley. It's not as bad as Randy Meeks, but yeah.
And I would like to point out that the man who plays Billy, his name is Skeet.
Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah, so that man's first name is slang for male orgasm. I'm just putting that out there, too.
Man. Well, and then there's Courtney Cox. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, okay, so everything comes out. They're at school, and the cops have come. They're going to question everybody. Henry Winkler is the principal, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the Fonz jacket even makes a cameo appearance when he opens a closet, you can see the Fonz jacket.
That's true.
Billy puts his foot in his mouth because we learned that a year ago, Sydney's mom was murdered. They got the guy and they put him away, and I think he's on death row.
Yeah, his name is Cotton Weary, played by Liev Schreiber.
Also known as Sabretooth.
Yes, please remind me of that.
He was in the Origins Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Sabretooth.
God, it's fucking horrible.
Whatever. Anyways.
That's a fucking bad horror movie right there.
Origins? Oh dear. All right. Anyways, so Cotton is on death row because she fingered him in court, and Billy puts his foot in his mouth because he's like, "You need to get over your mom's death. My mom left me and my dad." She was like, "You dumb motherfucker. It's not the same." She, kind of spurns him and fucks off. And at the same time, there's two punks that just run through the school hallway when it's in between classes, and they're wearing ghost face masks.
Yeah. Because people don't, if you weren't there, like if you were too young to be around this era, Ghostface, the mask, the actual costume, it was just some random ass shit you'd see in like a Party City magazine. Like it wasn't famous or anything. It was just like a lame ass costume that was just one of like in the plethora of costumes. It didn't even your eye wouldn't have stopped at it. It would have kept going.
Yeah.
And then
then it blew up. Ghostface became Ghostface.
Yeah.
It wasn't just random shitty mask.
Yeah, and that Halloween, every kid in the neighborhood went as Ghostface.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
it's a simple costume. It's a robe and a mask and gloves, all black.
Yep.
And that's it. You're Ghostface.
That's it.
That's it. And it's not the best, but so the two random guys are in the office, and the Fonz expels them. And not just, "I'm sorry, gentlemen, but you're expelled." He's like cursing at them and everything. He's like, "You shits are expelled. Get the fuck out of my school."
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's really great, actually. The police, I don't know if it's his choice of the police, but either way, they close school down early. It's early release. So all the kids have gone, and the Fonz is in his office digging around with the Ghostface mask for some reason, and somebody keeps knocking on his office door.
Yeah, and this is way later in the movie, but yes.
Yeah. But no, the best cameo ever. He sticks his head out, and he thinks someone's fucking with him, and the janitor's like, "You talking to me?" And the camera cuts to the janitor, and it's Wes Craven dressed as Freddy Krueger. He has the Christmas sweater and the hat. And he's like, "You talking to me?" And he's like, "No, Fred, I'm not." Which is the best cameo ever.
Yeah, and we should say He's not. He doesn't look like he's been in the boiler room, Freddy. It's just like he's just wearing the sweater and the hat. He still looks like Wes Craven.
Yeah. It's great. He just looks, because Wes Craven played the janitor in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get to that series. But yeah, he does bite it, basically. The principal shockingly actually dies, and you hear about it later that he was hung on the football goalposts.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is totally rad, actually.
There actually is a good shot of, because he's, on his back on the ground, and Ghostface is over top of him and has stabbed him. And you see the reflection of Ghostface's face in Henry Winkler's eye, like the mask.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in his eye, and that's a pretty cool shot.
It is. It's a nice little setup for the kill. But before all that happens, because that happens like in the third act of the movie, Sydney, and this is one of the things I appreciate about Ghostface a lot, is Sydney's in the bathroom, and she's in a stall high school drama, and these two chicks come in, they start talking about her mom and how she was a slut and she slept around town, and basically echoing a lot of the things that Billy said. Billy.
Yeah.
And that's when Sydney gets attacked in the school, in the bathroom, by Ghostface, who was 5 stools over.
Yeah, and she's really incompetent in this attack too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably dwell more on that later, but in a lot of his attacks, he's really bad at it. Dude, you had her in a enclosed space. Obviously, a bathroom's not very big.
Mm-hmm.
And she still got away from him.
Yeah, there's one exit. He's literally standing in front of it, and he dives to the left while she swerves to the right and just gets by him. It's ridiculous.
It's like, really?
Yeah, he's pretty bad. Whoops a daisy.
He's bad at his job of murdering.
But this kind of sets up the whole thing, is that Sydney and all her friends and everything, they're like very weary now of the fact that any of them could be killed at this point. They don't know the rules and the setup, which is why when the character Randy Meeks comes in and he starts saying, there's very specific rules you have to follow in order to survive this. And
and that's Jamie Kennedy, correct?
Yep. It's a nice callback. I actually like the scene because he works in a video store, where it takes place, because it's something in the past that you wouldn't even see today. Like, kids today wouldn't know what the fuck a video store is.
Yeah. Because
they don't exist. You have Netflix.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yes, it is. But I do like how he explains the rules, and he explains, even I could be a suspect. You could be a suspect. And everyone's a suspect.
And that lady in the background is freaking out.
Yeah.
When he's talking about it.
But this is a neat little thing that the script does in the movie, is that through Randy, we get what this movie is about, because he's explaining, like, this killer is following the rules of horror cliches, horror movies, which the movie is just making fun of.
Yeah.
So while it's scary in the event of the killings and the things that happen and transpire, it's also hilarious because it's trying to let you know that it's in on the joke of itself.
The one character that we haven't talked about yet, I don't even know the character's name, but it's Matthew Lillard.
Oh, Stu.
I like Matthew Lillard. I loved him as Shaggy, and I really loved his part in the 13 Ghosts remake with Tony Shalhoub. But he's awful in this movie. I cannot stand Stu.
Really?
I hate Stu. Oh, and real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I don't know what he turns, but today is Matthew Lillard's birthday on the day we were recording this.
Oh, all right. Happy birthday, Matthew.
Yeah. But Stu was awful.
I think Stu's a little over the top because he's always trying to make jokes and they're always like not landing.
Yeah. Oh, he's 52.
Oh, all right.
So there you go. But I mean, he seems like a nice dude. I've seen him at conventions. I've never met him.
He's super nice. When my sister went to go get an autograph with him, I was like 15 feet away, like just snapping pictures, like because she couldn't afford a picture with him,
Yeah.
And he saw what I was doing, and he told my sister, he's like, just bring out your phone. He's like, come on, let's get a picture together. And he just he just did it for her without her having to pay for it, which saved her $50. Pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, this is the only movie performance that I know him in that I don't like. So it's not him, it's Stu.
Right. Have you seen SLC Punk?
I think so.
Okay.
I may have been high.
Okay. Well, that happens from time to time.
Yeah, every now and then. But Stu is awful. Dewey is awful. Courtney Cox's character is awful. Her cameraman is awful.
Oh, man.
I'll let you go ahead, though.
If anyone hasn't realized at this point, this isn't Rob's favorite movie.
No. I am not a fan.
He's not a fan of Scream. I will say I don't put it high on my list of horror movies either, but I do still appreciate it for what it did for the genre in the 90s. Technically, Ghostface is our slasher that we grew up with. But after setting up the rules, getting it out, Sydney's been attacked, Dewey's going to protect her and do a terrible job at it. He starts falling for Gail Weathers, who is the reporter that's being a total...
just a bitch. She is.
Yeah.
She's putting her career above everything and everybody.
Yep. She gets her comeuppance when Sydney punches her in the face because she asked about her mom.
Yeah, it's a great slug, too. I mean, she really gets her.
Oh, yeah. The whole setup of this actually is just going straight to the third act of the movie, which is that Randy is going to have a party. Or no, Stu's having a party,
Stu's having the party, yeah.
Yeah. And you would think, why would Stu throw a party knowing that there's a slasher out there that's trying to kill all of them? And of course, obviously, that plays into the movie's script later, yeah. But
it's his excuse for this, and he does it. He kind of uses his girlfriend as his hype woman to do this. We're gonna have this party. School let out early, and we need to take our mind off of things. Us as all of these teenagers. That's his, and he tells his girlfriend, and she gets Sydney involved, and so that was his excuse for this to happen.
Which makes sense.
It does. I mean, we were all teenagers once.
Yeah, we never made good decisions.
No, even though Matthew Lillard was like 26 or something when they filmed this.
Yep. You know what? Actually, if kind of a side note, you know what really surprised me was the movie Fright Night. The love interest in that one, who went on to be in Married with Children.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was actually 28 in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, she was 28, trying to be a teenager, and I bought it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact for everyone.
Well, she looks super young anyways.
Yeah, she does. But yeah, Jamie Kennedy's character, Randy, ends up being the kind of life of the party as he puts on Halloween, and he explains to everyone the rules again, setting up things that people shouldn't be doing. And at the time, Tatum goes to get more beer for Stu and everyone else. Stu, I think, is the point where he says, "I'll be right back."
No, not yet. But she goes to the fridge in the garage that's connected to the house. And Ghostface locks her in, both the door to the house and the actual garage door. And she whoops his ass at first because he's terrible at his job.
He is really bad.
She busts him in the nuts. She launches beer bottles at him that break on him and everything. And it goes pretty good until she tries to escape out the little doggy door that's on the actual garage door. So he hits the power button to the garage door and it raises up. And I guess it's supposed to be like snapping her neck.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Because it's not the best, and it's definitely not the least believable kill in the whole movie.
Yeah, and it's a pretty bad kill because garage doors never worked like that.
No, there's no way that garage door could lift up a grown person.
Yeah, I mean, you could bump into a garage door and it would probably work.
Yeah.
Like really finicky.
They are, and well, I guess we should real quick talk about when she opens the door to the garage. She's clearly not wearing a bra.
Oh yeah, and it's very cold out.
It is very cold out. It's a very iconic scene.
Yeah. Well, I should also add too, for the first kill of the movie with Drew Barrymore, how would you rate that?
So we're going to skip her boyfriend. We're going straight to her.
Oh well, and the boyfriend, I should say too. Yeah.
The boyfriend gets a 3 because it's pretty gruesome. She gets a 5 because it's drawn out and it's vicious and it ends badly for everyone. Like
I would
not just her. Think about what mom and dad went through seeing that.
Yep. And just the way she looks hanging up there, it's awful.
It's pretty vicious for this movie.
And she gets to see who kills her before she dies because she rips off the
Oh, she does.
Man.
Yeah.
She has to die knowing who it was without being able to tell everyone. And then I can't think who actually dies next. I don't think Ghostface has a big kill.
I think it's the Fonz. I think it's Winkler.
I think it's either Tatum or Winkler.
No, it's Winkler because he died before the party.
Okay. So I would give him a 2 out of 5.
Yeah. Same.
And then Tatum a 1. I just don't.
Yeah,
with that garage door, I'm good.
It's so stupid. And Rose McGowan was, I don't know if she still is, but at the time she's like smoking hot. And it's like, you're just going to do that? Boring.
Yeah. Smoking hot.
She was. Although the blonde hair was kind of a downer.
The thing here, too, is that Gale Weathers is still on the move, and she finds out that they're having a party. And she goes with Dewey and tries to play the I'm interested in you card.
Oh, yeah, and he falls for it.
And, of course, he falls for it. And then she goes into the house and places cameras so that they can record everything that's happening in there. And her cameraman is out in the van.
Eating 3 different bags of chips.
Yes. And she tells him more than once to move his fat ass.
Yeah. When I say get a move on, I mean move your fat ass. But so now we're all set up. Because we got the party, we got Gale sneaking the cameras in, but then Gale leaves, and so does Dewey. The kids are partying. Tatum's dead somehow. No one has seen this yet. And then no one has seen a grown woman hanging from the garage door. And a bunch of the kids, including our main cast, are watching the original Halloween.
Right.
With what's-his-face giving them rules.
That's when Randy gives all the rules, and then they find out that the principal was hung from the football goalpost. And not even half the party, I would say like 90% of it leaves. Yeah, because they want to see if they can see the body of the principal hanging on the goalpost before, the cops take him down or whatever. Yeah, and these teenagers, they're not like, they hear the news and they're not like, oh, that's sad. They're like, bro, let's go look. Yeah. Although I got to say, if it had been my high school principal, I would have been like, hell yeah, let's go look. I hated that motherfucker. Did you really? Oh, yeah, I hated him. I was a problem student, Stefan. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked, I tell you, shocked. Well, not that shocked. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I met my high school principal once or twice as well. So
Yeah. But so now we're down half a party, like almost all the party. Our main cast is still at the house at Stu's house having the party, and the kids that are hauling ass down the road almost run over Courtney Cox and David Arquette. And when they dive into the woods, they see an abandoned car.
Mhm.
And it belongs to Sydney's dad, who was a suspect because he was supposed to go away on a business trip the night of her attack or the night before her attack, but he never checked into the hotel and he never got to the airplane.
Yeah, nobody can get a hold of him either.
Yeah, he was just missing. So they dive into the woods and there's his car and there's no one in there. His body isn't in there or anything. So immediately Dewey actually has 2 functioning brain cells and it's like, oh shit, he might be at the party and he's going to kill somebody.
Right. And this
Which
is
is surprising.
This movie actually does a way better setup, shocker, than Friday the 13th Part 5 by setting up who's the killer. It's actually
yeah.
It's actually a little bit more difficult to discern because it's not clear. Like Sydney's dad's not there. It could be him. It could be Billy, even though the police cleared him, but that could be a setup.
Yeah, Billy, but yeah, they cleared him, but he's still acting sketchy.
Yeah. But Stu, I would say that Stu was the last person, second to last person maybe, that people would think. Like, I feel like originally Randy could have been the killer more than Stu, no?
Yeah, actually, yeah, because he was almost like a red herring.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, so was Dad.
Mm-hmm.
But they go to the party, and after some shenanigans, including the throat getting slit of the fat cameraman, rest in peace, fat cameraman.
My favorite character.
No, not fat cameraman. You know, after all the shenanigans and all the things, it looks like Ghostface is going to get Sydney, but her boyfriend is there, and they just had sex for the first time.
Yeah.
So she broke a rule.
Yeah.
You're supposed to stay a virgin. Ghostface comes up and murders Billy, chases her, more shenanigans, cat and mouse. Stu is nowhere to be seen. Dewey gets stabbed and possibly killed. Gail gets run off the road in her van and hits a tree, possibly killed. And nerd guy Jamie Kennedy gets shot.
Yeah, and the setup too is that because it's Ghostface chase Sydney out to a car and they do this whole like chase routine. And I've always enjoyed the like the killer unlocks the door, then she has to lock it again type of deal.
Yeah.
I enjoy those setups. The tension in that. I actually appreciate that.
If it's shot
of course,
well, yeah. Which of course with Wes Craven it was shot well.
Absolutely. And then of course he just opens up the back of the
which is actually pretty great.
Yeah. Because you get to see it slowly. Yeah.
But then after all that hoopla and the possible deaths and maybe dead people, it comes out that it is both Stu and Billy. They are both Ghostface. They are both the killer. And I didn't expect, I remember watching it, 20 odd years ago and not expecting that.
Yeah. 2 killers instead of 1. What a twist.
What a twist. It's pretty great. It's like, cause just like, oh man, like I said, you didn't expect it. 2 killers. And then I don't know, where they're confessing why they did it and how they did it and everything. And that loses all steam and this movie crashes and burns.
See, I disagree there. I think it's a good motivation for Billy to want to kill and do this whole thing is because Sydney's mom slept with his dad, and that's why his mom left him. and he's basically getting revenge, even though it's not directly her fault either.
Yeah, his dad slept with her mom, so he killed her and framed Cotton.
Yep.
But because of that, his mom left him and his dad. So now it's just I would say he's gone off the deep end, but he looks like he's still in shallow waters compared to Stu. Stu's gone off the deep end.
Yeah, Stu is almost kind of like the dummy that you talk into like drinking the Kool-Aid type of deal. Yeah, because he just is like totally into it, and he's fantasized this whole moment. You can tell he's just really ready for it, and they have this whole setup, which this is another thing I appreciated about this scene, is that they are going to pretend like they were victims that somehow survived. So they have to cut each other to make it look like they were stabbed but left for dead.
Yeah. And see, this is the big reason that I don't like Stu is how much he chews the scenery in this scene. that 11 out of 10 overacting, and I know that's what Wes Craven wanted. That's what Matthew Lillard delivered, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, he there's two famous lines he says after he gets stabbed. He says, "I'm feeling a little woozy here."
Yeah.
And then like when they're doing this whole thing, Sydney escapes and she's hiding in the house now, and she calls the cell phone and she's pretending to be, or the house phone, and she's pretending to be Ghostface, and Stu picks it up and he's like, "Did you call the cops?" And she's like, "Hell yeah, I called the cops, motherfucker." And he's like, "My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me."
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it's obviously I'm the odd man out in this, and I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't force myself to like something that I just don't like.
No. And I'm glad that you have the differing view, actually.
And like I said, it's obviously what Craven wanted. It's what Matthew delivered. It's what the fans loved, obviously, because people still quote that scene 20 years later.
Yes, and
so I'm the odd man out, and hey, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say you're too far out there in the deep end, because this is probably this one, and I think it's Scream. Well, I saw the new Scream. I'll get to that at the end, but
okay.
Of the ones before that, I want to say this one, and it's either Scream 3 or 4 are the only ones I like. I don't like Scream 2. That one's just drivel, in my opinion, for many reasons. Yeah, so it's a weird series, and I don't like all of it either.
I like Lance Hendrickson and Carrie Fisher in the third one. I like that. It's like
that's probably why I like the third one. I can't remember.
Right.
But yeah, their whole reveal here lets Sydney escape, and then she gets the jump on Billy. Stu attacks her. She gets him with a TV
and kills him.
Which, how would you rate that, Rob?
Because Halloween is on the TV when she drops it on him, I'll go ahead and give that a 3.
Nice. I'm gonna say 2. Honestly, I would mark it as 1, but because he does that little like goofy jiggle at the end, yeah, it's I'm like, all right, 2 out of 5.
Yeah. So that just leaves the mastermind, basically, because, like you said, let's just face it, Stu was just kind of almost a scapegoat, lackey, whatever you want to call him. Billy didn't care about him at all.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, he was not as important as the movie makes you think.
No, but like we said, who gets quoted the most now by the fans?
Matthew Lillard's character,
exactly.
Stu. Yeah. Billy does also have a quote too, but he's just quoting Psycho.
Yeah, he's quoting Bates, so it's like you can't steal a quote, dude.
Yeah, yeah, we all go a little crazy sometimes. Norman Bates, psycho.
I mean, the line delivery is fine, but it's
Hmm.
it's not your line, dude.
Yeah, yeah, he dies. They shoot him in the head, which
Yeah, because they do that where she shoots him, Gail shoots him in the chest, and she's like, "I remember to take the safety off that time, you bastard."
yeah,
And Jamie Kennedy gets up, and he's like, "Be careful. This is a time in the movie when the killer gets up from when we think that the killer's dead, but gets up for one more scare." And as soon as he says that, Billy leaps up, and then apparently Sydney is just a Hawkeye dead eye shot because she nails him perfectly through the skull. I mean, she whips around and does it. It's not even like she took the time to aim.
right.
And he's now super dead.
His getup is funny too, and I think it was literally played for laugh because he's just like, ha.
Yeah, he just goes ah, and so boom, his brains are on the wall, kind of, MPA, and then Gale, the cops are storming the place. We're getting a wide shot, and Gale is there with a full on camera crew because rest in peace, fat cameraman.
Yeah,
But now she
favorite
has,
character.
yeah. So she has this, and she's telling the story of it, and it actually is a really good shot mainly because I love the location of that house.
It's beautiful, and I don't want to say anything spoilerific, but I will just say if you love that shot, you might love some shots in the new Scream movie.
Oh shit!
Do.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, that's Scream, man, and we should say the fat cameraman. His name was Kenny, and he was played by W. Earl Brown.
Okay. Do I know him from anything?
No.
Okay. Rest in peace, Kenny, the fat cameraman. How's that?
Yeah, he was in There's Something About Mary, and I guess he played Meatloaf in the Meatloaf movie, who also just recently passed away. Rest in
peace.
Yeah.
Jeez. That got real
Yes.
dark real quick.
Like a bat out of hell.
Yeah. But that is it. That is the movie that kicked off the franchise and gave a shot of life back into the slasher genre. It was huge, made a fuck ton of money, was a cultural phenomenon. Gotta give it 5 out of 10. Fuck this movie.
5 out of 10. Fuck this movie. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. My closing thoughts really are that yes, it's a classic now. Ghostface is a classic. He has made a conundrum in my life because when the Naked figure came out, I said, well, do I get one or two? Because then if I get one, is it Stu or is it Billy?
Oh my
Damn
god.
it.
Oh my god. Oh.
So I just didn't get one.
You
And
make me sad, Stefan.
that made it simple. But I do have not far enough from me. It's like 5 feet away on my Nintendo Wii. I have a sticker of Ghostface.
Here's a question. Maybe you know it because you're younger and hipper than I am.
Oh wow!
Ghostface was the Scream character Ghostface first, or was Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang first?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Scream.
I was gonna say Wu-Tang but I don't know.
Ghostface Killer. Let's see. Let's Google it.
Google it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay. Lead member of Wu-Tang. Debut. He's the lead member of the hip hop group Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah. And
It's not saying when their first album came out. Hold on. In 1995, Ghostface guest starred extensively on fellow Clan member Raekwon's debut. I'm gonna say you're right. Maybe he did come before.
Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface Killer. He's got
They
some
owe him
badass
some money.
albums. He actually does have an album out. I think it's Ghostface Killer, where it's just about slashers. So check that out if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, that's Scream. I hope everyone enjoyed us talking about it. I'm sorry that we both seem kind of tired because we are. It's been a long week. And honestly, the reason why we did this was to capitalize on the fact of the new movie, like I said. And halfway through doing that, I almost just said, fuck it. And I was like, Robert, let's just do this other like terrible movie. And he's like, no, fuck you. I watched Scream. We're fucking doing Scream.
I had to sit here and watch this movie. I had to suffer through Skeet and Courtney Cox and Jamie Kennedy. And the one performance of Matthew Lillard I don't like. It's like, fuck.
Surprise, Robert.
Yeah. I'll get you, bitch. That was, and I think something that never really resonated with me was when this movie came out. Well, when I saw it, I was like 14, right? So I'm a teenager. Mm-hmm. And
I was young and hip.
Yeah, all these kids, all these teens that you are seeing, and the main cast and everything, they are rich white kids.
That's true.
They are super rich white kids, and I was very, very poor. So I was super jealous, basically. I was angry at these fake characters because they were pretty and they were rich and they had big houses and loving parents, and I didn't have any of that.
They had girlfriends that didn't wear bras.
Yeah, right? What the hell?
Oh man. So is that why you hate this movie, Rob?
I mean, that's part of it. Another is I think Ghostface, his aesthetic is great. His method's not so much. He gets his ass beat a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I would say it's like Freddy levels almost of like goofiness.
Yeah, but Freddy has fun with it himself. He's laughing and all that shit. And you know that whenever something in a Freddy nightmare, when something doesn't go his way, it's because he's allowing it to happen.
He is part of he enjoys the chase and the thrill, whereas in Ghostface, you can actually tell he's frustrated by not being able to get the kill. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like Freddy's having a blast, and Ghostface is just bad at his job. Now, maybe that is something that resonated with people, and it didn't with me, is that he really is, kind of like, he's just an 18-year-old kid or whatever.
Yeah.
He's not some super monstrous man. He's not some demon. He's not whatever the hell Michael Myers is supposed to be. He's just an 18-year-old kid.
That's true. And it is his first outing. And then also you'd have to take into account, like, how could you even rate your Ghostface? Because technically you wouldn't know who it was because there's two killers in this movie, and spoilers for the second movie.
Is it in the second one?
Yeah, there's two killers. And you would be like, you'd be remiss because you'd be like, oh, well, that's killer A or killer B, and then you'd have to rate them singularly as opposed to like, oh no, that's just one killer like Jason or Michael or Freddy.
I don't know. I kind of lump them in together because they were in it together, so. And I can see, I can see both of them fucking up.
Yeah, because you have to think about it. Like, so the kills in this movie, like all the successful ones, were those Billy or like was one of them Stu? Because was Stu the bathroom Ghostface? It had to have been.
Yeah, but I think Billy was. Well, no, Stu was probably the one that attacked Sydney in her home too and failed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he planned to fail. So, Billy would be there, and then he'd, do the whole cell phone thing, and then the cops would release him, and he would no longer be a suspect. Like
Right,
that
because
that was the long game of that. Was they had no intention of actually killing Sydney that night.
right, because they want to like terrorize her, of course, but then also like they have the whole setup of introducing her dad to set him up as the killer later in the movie. So yeah.
So yeah, that I think. I mean, you're probably right that the goofy ones. If I had to say that the one successful one of Stu, it would have been his girlfriend.
Tatum, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because that was all kinds of ridiculous and stupid, and so was that character of Stu.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just that garage kill door, it just does
It's
not
awful,
work for
right?
me.
It doesn't look
Yeah.
good. It didn't look good then. It's
It's stupid that she would think she could fit through the doggy door when she's clearly
and it's like, all the other kills, while definitely a little over the top, were still believable. Because it's just a dude stabbing or slashing a person. It's a garage door going to lift up a grown woman and crush her. What?
Yeah, and I maybe it's because that first kill was so brutal. It sets up the ones later where it like sets up your mind to not think about how they're not as cool or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something, and obviously I don't know the franchise, very well, so I don't know if there's more stupid kills like that later on in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Did Wes Craven direct any of the other ones?
I can't remember. I want to say he directed the second one.
Oof. And apparently that's not good.
Yeah. Well, we might get to it at some point. I want to let everyone know, though, that the movie, I'm not going to say what it was, but it was a really bad, like a hint of it is kind of like a Jason Voorhees knockoff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably figure it out through that means of a hint. But going forward, obviously, I'm not going to do this anymore where I try to capitalize on like, oh, there's a new Chucky series, so we got to do Chucky or something. No, fuck that. I'm going to pick stuff that it's like I've never seen this before or something fresh that hasn't been talked about to death. And I can promise you that going forward, there's going to be stuff. Yeah, it really did, and a good point of reference for how far I'm willing to go for things that I've never seen before, things that Rob hasn't seen before, is if you go watch our video of Hexon,
which is great. Crazy movie, interesting movie.
Yeah, and that was way out of left field, but thankfully it was a good one. But yeah, I just want to let everyone know going forward, it's not going to be like this, and we're not going to be tired. And
hopefully,
yeah, and we're going to be on our A game. So tune in for that. Is there anything else you want to say, Ron?
No, just I don't want to say what our next episode will be. Want to keep it a surprise, mainly because we don't know what the next episode would be.
That's true. We have thrown some things out there.
But no, again, like always, thank you for listening. Always, if you can, please like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much that helps the channel, or leaving the comments, interacting with us, asking questions. That is a huge, huge thing for us, and for we never really expect to make money off of this. But if it happens, hey, that's great. But either way, we're still going to be doing this.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, like my goal is when we reach 1,000 subscribers, literally just to make badass like heavy metal looking Outpost 138 T-shirts, so that I can wear it around like a dork, and then when people are like, "Oh, hey," and I'll be like, "Yeah, not only did I draw this, but it's my podcast, bro. Like, you could subscribe. Like that's literally my goal.
Here's my business card."
Yeah. It's bone white.
Oh, that'd be amazing if you actually did that whole thing. But no, see, what I want is I want us to get or I want you to fall in love with what we're doing so much that you create us an interesting logo that isn't a stock skull.
I did draw that.
You drew that? I thought it was a
Yeah.
stock skull.
No, I drew it.
Not if you didn't draw it for that logo.
I didn't draw it for us. I drew it for old podcast, but yeah, I did
See?
draw it.
It's a fucking hand-me-down skull. What the
But you always say you want my skulls, Rob, and I gave you one.
Skulls, but I mean, you're not a little girl, so I don't hack your head off. All right, but again, thank you everyone, and we will be back sometime with something.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.